So today we'll talk about the cardiovascular system. In the cardiovascular system, how to elicit the history and interpretation. The cardinal symptoms of cardiovascular system are palpitation, second dyspnea, third chest pain, fourth fatigability, fifth edema of the legs. We'll discuss these things later on. First, we'll talk about the palpitation. Palpitation is a cardinal symptom of cardiovascular disorder because this symptom does not exist with respiratory or central nervous system. Because if you take dyspnea, it can be present with respiratory system also. What is palpitation? Palpitation is the awareness of his own heartbeats. Second, this palpitation, if it is associated with some other thing like chest pain, it is most important. We have to ask the patient how it starts. You can ask the patient to demonstrate by tapping on the table. Sudden onset and sudden disappearance is one important factor, for example, paroxysmal atrial tachycardia. Second, this palpitation in anxiety, they can have it. They can have a missed beat, just like that. One beat is missing, you can say that. Second thing, for example, in a case like pheochromocytoma, they present with the triad symptoms, palpitation, headache, and intense sweating. This classically shows he is having a pheochromocytoma. Second thing is thyrotoxicosis. Here, they can, during sleep also, they can feel the heartbeat is fast. Second, one more point you have to understand, palpitation indicates not only the rate but also the force of the rhythm may vary. For example, in a complete heart block where the pulse rate will be 25 to 30, there also they can have a palpitation, that is because of increased force of the ventricles. Second, the dyspnea. Here, it can be present with other diseases like respiratory system or gastrointestinal system or nervous system also. But here, what you have to understand is the awareness of or difficulty or intention to have a breathe. This is dyspnea, but you have to ask certain questions. One, whether it is how much related to severe exertion, moderate exertion, mild exertion, or even at rest, whether they have it. They have a grade that we can go on find out later on. Second thing, paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea. It is an obvious sign of cardiovascular system. Patient goes to sleep. As he was sleeping, suddenly wake up because of dyspnea. He has to open the windows. He feels air hunger like and sits on the bed and feels he may get relief. Third thing, the orthopnea. Here orthopnea, patient is not able to lie on the bed because the failure results in pulmonary congestion. It occurs with left heart failure. So the patient sits with too many pillows on his back. It's a problem position. That is orthopnea. There's another dyspnea, platypnea, where patient will not be able to sit. If he sits, it becomes more dyspneic. That is because of left atrial myxoma or ball wall thrombus in the left ventricle. It can obstruct the mitral valve blood flow, thereby causing pulmonary congestion and dyspnea. One more dyspnea type is tryptopnea. Tryptopnea we call it as. That is the ipsilateral side of the chest. If it lies, it becomes dyspneic. Next symptom will be chest pain. This is important. 1. Whether the chest pain is related to the cardiac or musculoskeletal or gastrointestinal. Remember, when the patient comes with chest pain, it is your duty to rule out it is not cardiac. You can afford to miss a gastrointestinal tract disease, but you cannot miss or should not miss a cardiovascular condition where the patient complains of pain in the chest. You have to ask, where is the site? They call it as Levine sign. They keep the closed fist on the chest and come and complain, doctor, I am feeling heavy in the chest as if somebody or elephant is sitting on my chest. That much of pain they will have. Second thing, whether the pain remains there or radiates. It can often radiate to the left shoulder or left upper limb or to the neck or sometimes to the jaw or sometimes even a tooth. They can miss it for dental pain. So, how to find out? You have to find out, ask the question whether it is related to exertion. If the patient says, if I sit, it's okay, doctor. Suppose if I walk, it becomes more. If I walk fast, I cannot tolerate it. Second thing, whether it is associated with sweating, as I told you, other symptom, palpitation or dyspnea. Sometimes they can have gastrointestinal symptoms like nausea, vomiting also. Because remember, the gastric GIT system and the cardiac, they have a common nervous system involvement. Next thing is the edema. Edema of the legs. You have to find out whether the edema occurred in the morning and the evening, same, diurnal variation. That is, they'll have, when they get up from the bed, they may not feel that much of edema. But when they, towards the evening, they develop much edema. You have to press with the thumb over the medial malleolus for at least 30 seconds. You can find out there is a hollow dip at the skin, thereby showing there is a free fluid in the lower limbs. Then the symptoms like fatigability. Here there is low output of the cardiac status. They feel exhausted. So we told you about the palpitation, chest pain, edema of the legs, dyspnea, and apart from that, in the history, you have to find out the system. For example, if the patient has got valve disease, mitral stenosis, mitral incompetence, then you have to ask about history of rheumatic fever, which we'll deal it later on. But few features I specify in them. 1. For the rheumatic fever, there should be past history of sore throat. 2 to 3 weeks later, because of the beta hemolytic streptococcal infection, they develop joint pain, fever. The joint pain, remember, major joints. And one word sentence is important. They are flitting and fleeting. Fleeting means they move from one joint to the other joint. Flitting means they affect the one joint. When they go to the other joint, the affected joint becomes totally free. Second thing, if the patient has got mitral stenosis, there is a special history. The left atrium enlargement can press over the foot pipe, esophagus, dysphagia. It can press over the left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Why left, not the right? Left because it has got a long intrathoracic course. It can produce hoarseness of voice. So, depending upon the disease, you have to ask these questions also. Third thing, if there is a congenital heart disease, cyanosis, you have to ask for whether it was present from birth or later on, or whether the dyspnea is relieved by the posture squatting. The patient folds the hands, folds the legs and sit, thereby reducing the venous return. See, in the history, past history you have to ask whether there is any rheumatic fever. Then family history you have to ask for whether there is hypertension, all these things. And personal history of smoking, alcohol. Alcohol can affect the heart, what you call as alcohol cardiomyopathy. See, when you take the history, I told you the top one is palpitation. Next, you have to remember the C for chest pain. Next, D for dyspnea. E for edema of the legs. F for fatigability. G for gastrointestinal symptoms like nausea, vomiting. H for hemoptysis. So, C, D, E, F, G, H, don't forget it. Regarding hemoptysis, usually it is a gastrointestinal symptoms, but it can occur with respiratory system commonly. But in cardiovascular system, in mitral stenosis or pulmonary embolism, they can have the hemoptysis. These things we'll discuss later on. Thank you.